What is going on, guys? Joey here, and yeah, continuing these. We are going to go over Cranon's meet today. It was very interesting. It was one of the highlights of the week, I would say. She did some uncharacteristic things that really surprised me, that are very promising, and I am very proud of her for being able to do that. And I'll kind of go over some of those things when we get there. This meet was supposed to be, she was supposed to get blown out. She was just supposed to get like everybody just kind of, you know, I mean, you'll hear the commentators say it if you watch this video. I believe it's on the Powerlifting America page. It's not supposed to be this close, whatever, this and that, but that's one thing I like doing is going into meets when everybody thinks something or is, trying to put you in a box or kind of define you, and you just shatter everything that they thought. And she absolutely did that. She absolutely applied pressure. I'm very proud of her, and yeah, we're gonna kind of get into it, and I'm very excited for the future. So that being said, um, I'll just talk a little bit about prep. So we just did nationals, and after nationals, she kind of had like the post meet blues. I believe we hit 590. She had like the post meet blues, and everything was like pretty easy. For the most part, I think her squat and I think everything was much better at Worlds than it was back home, which which is very interesting, and I have some reasons for that and why I think that is. Um, but we just competed, and then it was very difficult for her. It's just, the post meet blues, like getting back into it. She has so much going on. For those of you that don't know, Cranon is like truly a full-time like influencer. She actually is like, not like a halfway influencer. She really is a big influencer, and she is constantly doing photo shoots, filming, um, doing meet and greets, like all kinds of things. Um, in that realm, and it can put a strain on training. But she has been um, very, very, very good with. She's been great with communication, and that's all comes down to trust. When I tell my lifters, the lifters that get the best results are the ones that lean on me. She is one of those lifters. She will not be shy about trying to get a hold of me if she needs something, and I love that, and that's what I want, and that's what allows us to get through almost anything that comes up. Um, but I think going into nationals, there was like a little like hip injury thing that we took like a week and a half to deal with. We fixed it, but that kind of took some momentum from us, and everything sort of showed up on this day, and she sort of got back to herself and broke out of whatever was taxing us from before, or holding her squat back. It kind of like caught up at the last minute, and I mean, you guys will see it here. Um, Again, props to her for, uh, she showed up early to this meet, before like almost anybody on my roster that I could think of. Even I think before Alba, who was competing like many days before her, and that allowed the travel. That plus we didn't cut weight for this. We don't have to cut weight. Um, that allows us to sort of negate the negative effects of having to deal with travel. So as you can see right there, super fast opener. It's very, very interesting watching this on video here after the fact, because in the moment everything is like twice as slow. It's very strange. I'm not really sure what that is. I don't know if it's because there's like spotters, or because I mean, ideally when I look at a squat, I like to see the bar on the back, and I like to look at the sticking point. But I can't see those things when there's literally five spotters here, so it's very difficult for me sometimes. So I try to move up, and I also have we have Mike Z on the side watching. We have Grant on the screen watching. and then we'll all kind of like touch base. And that was the case for everybody all week. So no USA coach was alone. There was help. Like everybody had assistance. Sometimes even up to 5 people giving their input. Um, before a number going in. So a lot of these attempts are, I mean, obviously handled her many times on my own. It's not like I need help or anything, but it is nice to bounce off the boys and just kind of solidify things. Now that one was a little bit slower, but it was still great. It was 2:15, I believe. I believe um, looking at it from here, there's no like obvious slowdown. I think in retrospect, let's put a little bit more. In the moment, it didn't look the best. And I remember thinking that, and I remember thinking that 225, it's gonna be like right there. We're in a tight race because Carlina was having trouble hitting her lifts. Um, we felt that uh, there's no reason to have to put the sauce on it. Just take something. Just take something because I mean, if you guys saw Carlina hit her, she like missed. I think she missed a second on depth. And then for us making our third decision, cool. Like she might miss it again. Let's just take something easier. And I think that's a good way to play it. If your opponent's having trouble, you don't have to risk. Take less risk and just add chips, right? But looking at this in retrospect, um, on everybody's squat except Amanda's, which is messing with my head, everyone was able to get better as they went because the warm up room used these like the bar is a little fatter collar, and it's not an Alico, so it behaves a little bit different. Imagine you're training on an OPB, just a regular power bar, then you go to the competition using an Alico with the calibrated everything's tight and locked in. It's going to be a little bit different, and you're going to kind of get better as you went. Happened with Alba, happened with Cranon, happened with Laura, happened with um, oh my God, who am I thinking? John Keiko. But with like Amanda and Jesus, could have just been hot. Same thing with Sonita. Whatever. That day was cursed, by the way, so I don't even know. But anyway, I said let's just make a lift. Let's just hit something that I know for sure she can hit. Again, this is her second worlds, right? Um, I didn't want to just throw her into the shit of it. But looking at this, she was very confident. Her hip was not a problem. She did more nutrition this meet than she has done in the past, and that I do believe also helped play a role. And a lot of things sort of came together for her to be able to just show up on the day in a way that um, I didn't see at national. I did not see this happen at nationals, 8 weeks ago. So I think from that she definitely had another 5 kg. So I think the call probably would have been 225, so another two on top of that. Um, in my mind, I said, great, no problem. We have energy for deadlifts, and we're gonna need that deadlift, which we did. Um, she is the 500 squatter for sure. There's no doubt in my mind. She can squat 500 pounds. So if she watches this, I know you want that number. It's there. Um, I believe Carlina missed her third, and then the jury gave it back to her. So if they didn't give her that lift, the meet just over, right? The meet just ends like right there. But they gave it to her, so now we have to fight. And in which case, not adding that extra on squat is kind of like it hurts a little more, right? But you have to kind of play it on the day. And like I said, for some reason, everything on the day just felt slow. It looked slow, but I mean that was great. No issues there. Recently started using wrist wraps because she was getting some pain at nationals. And again, I didn't know how she was gonna perform doing back-to-back competitions. Um, and there are some things that I will emphasize to her now that I think about it, but she did amazing. She's one of the few USA lifters that did nationals and then turn around and then did worlds and like did even better at like PR the total. I actually don't know if any Americans did that. Did any Americans do nationals and then PR the total at worlds? She might have been the only one, or unless it was one of the smaller girls that I'm not thinking of. So very interesting, or maybe Anthony, but I'm not entirely sure. Um, and like I said, like everything this meet was better than Nat's. Her bench was better, her squat was better, her deadlift was very strong. Just fell a little bit short. The meet was also moving super fast, but no worries there. So I think we go 125. Let's see. Flat back, kind of a flat back bench. No need to do anything fancy. Yep, 127. No problems. No worries, no concerns. Singlet looks dope, by the way. Super cool singlet. Let's see, let's see. So 127. Maybe has 130. I'm not gonna risk it at Worlds, especially when we just need to gain ground on Carlina, right? So I'm pretty amped up at this point. Now coming into deadlift, I gotta explain this to you guys because like you guys probably don't understand what was going on. Um, the opener that and this is not something that I normally do, because I don't care and like it doesn't matter. Like to me, if I'm just gonna pull for the win, then do whatever you want. I'm pulling for the win, right? But the strategy that was presented to me was that if we up her opener, the opener will make it so that Carlina always has to make an attempt in order to gain the lead back, and we take the lead, so it's switching back and forth each one. So if they miss, then we just automatically win. Um, that I didn't like. I wouldn't normally do that. I would just take an easy opener, take like a okay second, like nothing too hard, and just save all the energy for the third. Put in like a meme third attempt, and then once they go out to lift, see what the number is, load it, and then just hit it, right? That's what I would have done, and it maybe would have saved her like 2 to 7 kg of energy, which probably would have made the difference. I'm not sure though. The way this plan doesn't work is if your opponent jumps huge, and then you have to maintain that lead, right? So you always want to be. We always had to be 7 kilos ahead of Carlina, and the reason why I don't like that is because now we have to take a really big second and then force her to make a third, and that's just going to gas my lifter out. So I would rather just save it for the end. But um, every single meet, Cranon peaks her deadlift great. Like if she hits 250 in the gym, she'll hit 255 a meet day. If she hit 255 in the gym, which she did, she's gonna have 260 meet day. And that's always been kind of like a safe way to look at it, right? So I believe 235 opener. I mean that was fine. Um, it was like light, so she was, it was a little shaky, but her form is like great. I don't want her to change anything about her form. Um, she gets a really good wedge. Anytime you could drop your hips like that, and you see the bar bending like that, that's what you want. So very happy with that, and she has really good grip, so I don't really need to worry about that. And then we ended up jumping 10, which is like small for her strength because of what her opponent did. Um, which is like fine, but in my mind, when I saw what they were jumping, I'm like, yeah, I don't care about the strategy anymore. I just want to take anything. Um, and I was telling like I don't regret it. Like I don't mind the plan that was presented to me. It could work, and I think we still operate within a that looked just like the opener. Just operate within a realm of um like there's a certain space that you could operate under where it doesn't really matter if you go up or down too much. It's not gonna be too bad. Now this right here, this moment, the moments before this deadlift, when everything is on the line, and hold on, I gotta give Carlina her props. Carlina, we thought she only had 7 kilos left on her deadlift at max. Her second did not look the best, and it was tough. And one of the New Zealand coaches afterwards told me that we thought for sure Cranon could hit 260. And I thought that too. I know that she could. So we have to try to go 10 kilos because if we go 7, we're just giving you guys the win. So we're going to go 10 kilos and try to force you guys to pull 262. And that's basically like all we got left. And Carlina fought it. She hit it. And that forced us to go up. Again, told you guys like every meet, Cranon will hit 5 keys more on the platform. Um, the the I have that data, right? That calculation. That's the comfort. Like I'm willing to go within that. Laura missed her deadlift, which I mean I told them. For those of you that don't know, the girl who got third place, I also coach. I said I told the French coach, like all you have to do is pull above Cranon and Carlina's second. I mean they know this. If you hit that number, you're just waiting for us to miss. But Laura ended up losing balance. So with Cranon, it doesn't even matter if we make it or like we just go for the win, right? You're getting second no matter what, just go for the win. Um, so yeah, we loaded it up. I believe the weight is 262. And these are the moments that make me as a coach feel alive. These are the moments where I feel so amped up. I feel like the to come in on her second year and challenge somebody like that and have the opportunity to pull for a win. This is what it's about, right? When like think about when Callie beat Taylor. Those crazy moments that nobody is expecting, right? Um, you guys don't understand how nuts it would have been if she would have hit this. Um, and I honestly felt like it was close enough to where she could, and it was literally right there. Um, literally, I don't even know what the sticking point is. She was right there. It was so unbelievably close. But I'm really, really, really proud of her. I just want to take a minute to um oh, let me just pause it. I just want to take a minute to say, and I don't know if she's gonna hear this, but Cranon, you showed up early. You did your nutrition. You communicated with me, and I couldn't. I was busier this world because of the schedule. I couldn't like in Lithuania. I got to like handhold a lot, like just okay, we got to go train. Let's go eat. These are the foods you're gonna eat, and I could do all that. I didn't get to do that this week because I was just gone. But you got your food. You went to the store. You did all the things you need to do. You came to another country. You went through the travel. You did all those things, and you were able to show me a better version of yourself than you did. And we just competed, and like as a newer lifter to be able to do that, like that is you should be proud of yourself, and you should definitely like don't let anyone take away what you did at this performance because I've been doing this a long time, and it's not easy. It's not easy. So I'm really proud of you for that. I know we're gonna keep getting better. You are totaling into the 600s for sure next meet. You're gonna pull that 260. I think you have that 610 kg total right now. 612, 612, maybe 615, something like that. And I know Cranon's gonna stay locked in because her teammate Laura is right behind her, right? So those two are gonna have like that motivation to like push each other. And then of course, that my headphones literally turned off on me. I know that you're hungry. You want that world spot. Or sorry, that Sheffield spot. You're like you will be. I'll be damned if you're not world champion one day. Um, I am just thankful for everything. I'm thankful to be on this journey. I'm thankful for our like the way our relationship is, how you trust me. Um, you know, it's like you and Russ. When I think about you guys and how you guys, uh, lean on me and trust me for things, it just makes me feel like, I mean, and any lifter that does that, but those are the lifters that you guys certainly will know. That's why I mentioned them. Um, it makes me feel like, okay, they're counting on me. I've been doing this for a long time, and the possibilities keep me going, and they just being having people that trust me really motivates me to continue to push and go forward. And I want to say, shout out to Cranon, shout out to Christian, Big Swole, shout out to Ronnie. Um, yeah, shout out to everybody who supported. The girls, the amount of girls that came out to watch Cranon that don't even lift or power lift like that, that was amazing to see. That was unbelievable. And, you know, through that lifting, you're gonna inspire those people to pick up a barbell, and that's really important. So we'll get them next time. Really kicking myself about the 5 on squat, but you got to call it for the day. And given how things were going, I felt that giving her a squat PR would probably be fine. Um, and just making sure that we made a third, applied pressure, and didn't risk anything. That's how I could justify it. The other part of me is like kicking myself. Should have gone up more. Put some. It's okay to risk it a little bit. So, but yeah, we'll next time definitely targeting that 230 number for squat. So that'll be exciting. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.